You are listening to episode 16 of the Wealthy Happy Soul podcast, The Cost of Indecision. Welcome to the Wealthy Happy Soul podcast, a show for high achievers who are ready to start enjoying the life they've worked so hard to create. Join me, your host and certified life coach, Dr. Tangi, to learn how to start infusing the dedication you have for your career into living a truly fulfilling life. If you're ready to finally gain the happiness your soul has been longing for, this podcast is for you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 16. I am so happy that you are here. Today, I want to tell you a little bit of story. Settle in, get some tea. Okay, so this is, I believe, an old fable, but it goes like this. There was a donkey who was thirsty and starving. This donkey was looking down at the ground, and on the left side, he can see an apple, and on the right was water. He looked at the apple, he looked at the water. He looked at the water, the apple, the water, and then he collapsed from severe dehydration and starved to death. Why? He couldn't make a decision. Thus, he died. So guess what, folks? Today we are talking about indecision. And this is something that I really want to address because it breaks my heart when I speak with so many of you and I see you suffocate the life you want for yourself with all of this indecision. And I know it feels like the responsible thing to do. And it gives you a sense of false productivity because you're thinking and thinking and thinking about a decision, but nothing is really changing. And what's happening is you're actually wasting time that you can never get back. And the second thing I think is because people don't really trust their decisions. They've had some traumatic event in the past that's happened, maybe a big failure. And because of that, they really don't trust how they make decisions anymore. And one thing I want to say about that is, regardless of what's happened in the past, regardless of how many failures that you've had, I know nobody's taught you to think about it in this way, but it has absolutely nothing to do with how you choose to move forward in your life. Because looking at the past to predict what your future success is going to be, looking at all the times you tried before, looking at all the past failures, I want you to know that failure is not a sign that you can't do something. And what nobody ever taught you was that failure is actually a sign that you are learning and growing. And if you want to achieve any type of big success, you're going to have to expect failure and you're going to have to expect the growth that comes from it. And the third thing I know that's happening is fear. You're scared. I know you're scared of the unknown. You're scared of change. You've heard all these negative stories about what it will mean to change or to invest in coaching. But what we have to do is actually learn how to see the positive and realize that change takes practice and that alignment is an art. I understand the fear of thinking you may make the wrong decision, of thinking that you have to be 100% certain, and being scared that you're going to make the wrong choice. I understand what it's like when you don't really like where you are and you want better for yourself, but you also really like where you are because you get to stay the same. And staying the same doesn't really involve that kind of deep work that change involves. But what I want to say is that you have to embrace courage if you really want something different. And what I've learned to do actually is to use my fear as a guide of what to do next, not something to run away from. Provided your life isn't being threatened, most of the time, I've learned that fear acts like a true bully, and it will not go away until you confront it. Listen, indecision is zapping so much precious time and energy from your life. It's putting so many of you in this endless cycle of turmoil. And the best thing you can do for yourself is to make a decision so that you can use all of that energy on something else. Waiting and waiting and waiting to take action will keep you in the torture chamber of ambiguity, and your reality will not change until you start making new decisions. And the quicker you can do that, the better. I don't know what it is lately, but I feel like every time I look around, every time I go somewhere, every time I have a conversation with somebody, just a regular old conversation, I'm hearing, let me think about that. And I just feel like people everywhere are swimming in all of this indecision. And I don't know, it just makes me really fired up because I know how much of a time waster indecision really is. You're going to think about it? Okay. When? What does that even mean? Does that mean you're actually going to schedule time to physically sit down and think about it? Do you have metrics to tell you when thinking about it time is over? Or are people simply indulging because making an actual decision is scary and you really don't trust yourself? Every time I've heard those words lately, I just want to shake somebody. Like, I know I can't go around the grocery store shaking people, but I want to say, stop wasting your energy. Make a decision one way or the other and just move on with your life. And when it comes to life decisions, things that are going to move you towards the life that you really want to live, either use the energy to go all in on yourself or just really give yourself permission to let the dream go so that you can use your life force. You can use your energy towards other things that are important to you, towards the people that are important to you. Otherwise, you just end up torturing yourself endlessly. I recently read a book called U Squared. It was written by Price Pritchett. And one of the things he says was, you have to make your move before you're ready and trust that whatever it is that you need will come. A person can make a career out of laying the groundwork to do something really big. Please understand, you don't, quote unquote, prepare for a quantum leap. You make it and then fine tune your approach. You go for it instead of forever getting ready. Start and let whatever happens help you develop. And now listen to what he says next. Getting ready is, quite frankly, a stalling tactic, an act of anxiety, a con game. You're working on yourself. You are already positioned to escape to a higher plane of performance. If you wait until you get it perfect, you will never get it at all. The time to start is now. I couldn't agree more, and I'm obviously very passionate about this topic of indecision, and I would love to help you make your leap in the Wealthy Happy Soul Project. Go to drtangi.live for more details, and I will see you next week. Hey, if you are wondering how to overcome success exhaustion so that you can finally enjoy your life, good news. I am hosting a masterclass on this very topic. All you have to do is go to drtangi.live and enter your name and email, and you will be registered. So go ahead, make a firm decision, and I will see you there. Thank you for listening to the Wealthy Happy Soul podcast. If you want to dive deeper into alignment and start cultivating your inner wealth, head on over to drtangi.com.